Virginia Governor Youngkin is taking a stand against the CCP. He banned TikTok on state devices, and he's backed a bill protecting farmland from being purchased by the Chinese government. Governor, it's great to have you in the studio.
Great to be with you all. It's like old home week here. It's really fun to be with you.
Nice to see you.
Jacket's gone. We like that. Some of us like that. I understood some farmland concerns in some of the western states. Do you have sensitive places in Virginia that are they buying? They don't want to grow some corn.
I mean, this is a real issue, and let's just step back. I mean, of course, what we've seen is the CCP and the Chinese government become much more aggressive about progressing their strategy, which is to dominate the world. Let's just be clear. And they're going to do it at the United States' expense. And they're using every arsenal element that they have, from military coercion to economic coercion to surveillance, and it's showing up everywhere. And yes, in our own farmland, I mean, we have the Pentagon, we have Quantico, we have the largest naval base in the world, we have Wallops Island that's launching rockets 10 times a year, and they're surrounded by farmland in some certain cases, not Pentagon.
Is that the farmland they're interested in?
And we're not going to allow these bad actors to buy this farmland. And it was bipartisan.
Are they shopping around there?
We know that there's been substantial purchases of farmland across the United States.
Yes.
And there has been farmland purchases in Virginia. And we're just not going to let it happen. And I find it's much better to close the barn door before the horse gets out than to let the horse get out and then wring our hands and say, what are we going to do?
I mean, you throw in Balloon Gate, you look at the islands, you worry about Taiwan, you look at the partnership with Putin. None of it makes me feel secure about our relationship with China in the future.
And look what's happened just in the last few years. China has become far more brazen in progressing their agenda. And yes, it was the extraordinarily aggressive take on Hong Kong and clamping down on any sense of democracy in Hong Kong. It's a communist government, let's be clear. It's using their economic might in order to project their will around the world. And it is not just saber-rattling, but they're building a land bridge to Taiwan. And Taiwan's future is hugely strategic. And so this is a real issue. I am glad that we're watching our congressional oversight committees jump in. It is bipartisan. What's been most interesting is to watch this no longer be a Republican issue, but to be a bipartisan issue. I mean, even Chuck Schumer said that we have to unite around our strategy to deal with the CCP.
Well, you know what we cover here on CNBC. What does all this mean for Corporation A, Corporation B, Corporation C, Corporation Nike, Starbucks? I mean, take your pick.
Ford.
All of them. Tesla, Apple. Go down the. I mean, it's business as usual. The NBA, it's still business as usual. Does that need to change?
It needs to change in the sense that there are select industries that we must be proactive in making sure we have trusted supply chains in. I mean, you look back at the Inflation Reduction Act and what was trying to be accomplished in the Inflation Reduction Act, which was for the first time to have a view that we need trusted supply chains in electric vehicles and solar panels and wind turbines. You look at what was done in the CHIPS Act and recognizing that we need a trusted semiconductor industry.
You like the CHIPS Act? I hate to interrupt you, but you see now that you got to have child care. It's got to be union child care, basically. I mean, across the board, it's a Democrat wish list for stuff that they couldn't pass and Build Back Better. And they actually admitted it.
Yeah.
I think Gina Raimondo said, look, these are things Congress didn't do, so we're going to do it here. I mean, you're making a Faustian deal. Would you do it?
Well, the short answer is the skinny CHIPS Act, I was for. The expanded CHIPS Act invades the independence of companies to make decisions for
no buybacks for 5 years?
No buybacks. No buybacks for 5 years in the new CHIPS Act, but will allow Chinese companies to come into the United States and get access to our incentives for EVs.
What does this mean for companies?